first, let me thank Stephen Institute of Technology President Farvardin, thank you, co-survivor, for your kind invitation to speak. Let's show him some SIT love, all right? And I want to just shout out the President's Ensemble. Let's give them a round of applause for their 1 million dreams. And of course, I must truly show some love, Ski Phi, to my brothers of A5A for their step show right there. They, okay, now normally I keep with my phrase of being sincere, brief, and then I take my seat. But given the President has so gracefully given me 20 minutes of your time, y'all just have to sit back, relax, and enjoy Secretary Wade's remarks, okay? Now, we are gathered today to honor Dr. King's legacy of being of service to others. And while there are a multitude of ways to define service, MLK simply put it as a call to action. Dr. King believed in building a beloved community, that we should all roll up our sleeves and work for it every single day. His example is a mighty call to jump in with both feet. Now, once upon a time, I wasn't Tahesha Way, 34th Secretary of State for New Jersey. I was Tahesha Wright. Now, I remember growing up, and my mother would routinely remind me of two simple words: be present. She was teaching me that even if you are not ready to speak up for yourself, you have to show up for yourself and for others. Being present meant you belong in every room you enter, and every moment is a distinct opportunity to contribute positively. And I took my mother's words seriously when I became an undergraduate student at Brown University just a year ago. I felt called to serve others and thought about the communities that I wanted to belong to. Thus, I co-founded the campus chapter of the NAACP because I wanted to ensure there was a space for students like me. I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the first Black Greek sorority for women, and was inspired by our shared mission of service to all mankind. And given we are celebrating MLK, did you know his beautiful bride was part of the sister organization, AKA Coretta Scott King? And yes, she once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." Now, my calling to be of service to others didn't just stop at Brown. After law school, I moved to New Jersey with my husband, and we started a family with 4 amazing daughters who seemed to think I only graduated from kindergarten. Is that right, Aisha's mom? That's right. Now here in New Jersey, I looked for opportunities to find connections and ways to be useful to others. I paid attention to my community and joined organizations, notably ones which supported women. Eventually, I was asked to consider being a candidate for the position of county freeholder, which is now called county commissioner, and I won. I later served as the state judge, which continued my belief of working justly in service to my community. Then, in 2018, Governor Murphy did ask me to serve as Secretary of State, and with this role has come new responsibilities, new relationships, and opportunities to serve. In my work, that means reaching all communities and helping folk become active voters. Now, I'm not talking about telling people who to vote for, but simply empowering them like MLK to participate in our democracy. Now, my team and I are specifically activating New Jerseyans beyond the voting booth through our Jersey Civic Engage initiative. This nonpartisan effort is aimed at supporting a healthy democracy by providing the information people need to become informed citizens, not just on Election Day, but throughout the entire year. Why? Because we all belong to a community. Some of these communities are our neighborhoods which we live in. Some find community in their shared heritage or faith. Others find it amongst the organizations they belong to or at school. And many of us find community with each other through shared experiences. Simply put, when people have a stake in their communities, they are more likely to have a voice, to inspire others, and be part of a grander place than themselves. Someone who is truly served as an inspiration to me, her name was Laura Wooten. Now, Laura worked at Princeton University. She made history as America's longest-serving poll worker. Until her death in 2019, Laura Wooten showed up and worked as a poll worker for 79 consecutive years. She understood that our elections do not happen without the work of regular citizens. And I ask, if she, as an African American woman, could do this during the civil rights era, then what's stopping you? Laura's hard work reminds me of why I should not take voting for granted. Because without the right to vote, it would be impossible to imagine that I could serve my state in this capacity. Moreover, become the first African American president of the National Association of Secretaries of State, 118 years after its founding. Nonetheless, I think we all recognize that there is still much more work to be done. To see the equality promised by MLK, promised by the gaining of the right to vote, to actually reflect a reality within our own lives, both professionally and in service to others. Are y'all still with me? Yes. Good. Besides overseeing the State Division of Elections, I also lead the state government offices supporting New Jersey's arts, culture, history, and business communities. I'll start with my Business Action Center, which serves our state by helping New Jersey businesses and nonprofits thrive. Think of them as the connector. If you have a big idea or you are currently working on the next great invention in your garage or basement, my staff will connect you with the right people, point you to available grants, help you get in touch with the New Jersey Commission on Science, Innovation, and Tech. They provide advocacy services to women and minority-owned businesses, directing them to the right contacts and facilitating meetings and partnerships. And if you are looking for international opportunities, the Office of Export Promotion works with small and mid-sized businesses in expanding sales. Now, why do I mention all of this? Because one company the BAC recently helped was Spectra Spray Global LLC, a Morris County-based female-owned and operated business for health and wellness. And in turn, Spectra Spray gave back locally and internationally by partnering with UA Farm, a Ukrainian-based pharmacy, for distribution of their goods that were in need in Ukraine. As MLK saw it, no dream is ever too big. And speaking of global consciousness, in 2019, I joined a bipartisan delegation of 11 secretaries of state from across this great nation on a visit to Israel. On my trip, I learned about Israel's history, culture, challenges, and innovations. Whether you realize it or not, the world is indeed interconnected, and technology plays a significant role in raising global awareness. In truth, we are bringing Israel and the United States together by building long-term mutual collaborations through tech. Just recently, I participated in a ribbon cutting at Blue Vine, a banking company, to celebrate another milestone in the New Jersey-Israeli relationship that is bringing jobs and innovation right here in the Garden State. Because you all know better than me, I was an English major, that STEM education prepares the world for the future. The world we live in is ever changing, and we must keep pace with it. STEM allows students to be flexible, look for patterns, find connections, and evaluate necessary information. Innovations have touched every aspect of human life. I'm talking about from the printing press to sunglasses to the electric toothbrush and now the smartphone. Dr. King once said, "Through our scientific and technological genius, we have made of this world a neighborhood. And now, through our moral and ethical commitment, we must make of it a brotherhood." We must all learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we will all perish together as fools. Thus, the success of our communities depends on how prepared today's students are to succeed in their futures. And speaking of innovations, women in STEM are still underrepresented and more needs to be done. But I know Stevens is doing its part in bridging the gap by empowering women. Exhibit A, the President's Cabinet. Mic drop, anyone? Performing more outreach with organizations and providing them with tools they need to succeed. It is essential to leverage this field as a means, not just as an ends, to pursue the values, his values, of equity and justice. It enables students, communities, and industries to engage in a more productive and dynamic way of solving shared problems. We are indeed more alike than different. That's evident with this group coming together on this day of service, taking action, bridging, building barriers, and creating solutions to social problems. To that point, I am also honored to have the state's Martin Luther King Jr. Commission housed in my department. The commission works throughout the year to keep his legacy alive in both words and action. Moreover, my Office of Volunteerism activates nearly 2 million New Jerseyans to be of service as volunteers to others, embodying the spirit of MLK's work. So, I want to ask each and every one of you, what have you truly learned from Dr. King? And are you still with me? Okay, I'm almost done. I know from Martin Luther King throughout my 16 years of existence that I need community because I don't want to do this alone. Now, at one of my National Association's conferences, I had the distinct honor of meeting 4 members of the historic group, the Little Rock Nine. Yes. They were the bold high schoolers who served as catalysts to desegregate our national educational systems. Reflecting on their historic stand for equality and justice, one of the Little Rock Nine, Dr. Melba Beals, stated one simple phrase in response to that. We did something. Yes. We each can do our part in fulfilling MLK's dream by doing something authentically, by being a voice for the voiceless, or we can use our power, our influence to pass the microphone and help the vulnerable folk in our communities speak up for themselves. You do not have to be a governmental professional like me to care about your community, your society, our democracy. Just be authentic, just be present. Take your values into the workplace wherever you go. And as I always say to folk, remember to vote. As future STEM professionals, you are honoring the many who served in this space and those who desperately wanted to but were denied it. You are modeling good citizenship for future generations. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have addressed you today. Thank you all for the work you do professionally and personally to bring Dr. King's dream to life. I hope you each will find ways to uplift the communities you belong to as you were made for these times. I have very much so been inspired by all of you here today. Thank you so much.